Hey Chris, Liege Games, let's do this. So everything you need to know about the crowdfunding games that are coming out this week, this last week of July, and we have two big ones that are going to make some waves, and it's going to be very interesting, and I'll talk about that when we get there, about why I think they're going to make waves, and not just, the reasons that you normally suspect. So we'll get into it, as always. Thanks for tuning in this weekend. It's a Saturday. It is, going to be an interesting weekend. I am home alone with the kids all weekend. I'm single parenting all weekend. 3 days, 3 kids, and it's even my birthday. So great. Home alone with the kids on my birthday with nothing to do and nowhere to go. So that is my avenue. Can't even get games played because kids, right? There you go. I'm making videos and putting them out for you guys. I got a couple of reviews coming out this week as well. A news video on Monday, if I can get it filmed, and a little bit of everything else in between. So close to 6K. If you're not subscribed, throw me a sub. If not, that's okay too. Thumb it if you want, and everything else in between. Let's just go. I'm done with the promo intro. Let's do this. Look, first up, this is the reprint of Return to Dark Tower. There's going to be a new Covenant expansion. You can get the old expansions that have sort of been hard to get. They're selling it at a retail level-ish now from a couple places around the interwebs. And so this is just going to be more of the over-deluxified, super deluxified version of a co-op game with an electronic app and electronic tower. Now, people were griping all last week about the price of Moonrakers, and no one seems to be griping about the price of Burncycle with $240 add-ons that you can get for that. But I'm sure you're going to have people out of the woodworks on both sides of this one. Yeah, it's a fun game. Yeah, it takes some of the nitpickiness or the minutia of the upkeep of playing a co-op game, but I can play a co-op game that's, I would say, better than this. For a fraction of the price. Now, the novelty is definitely there. I'll give them that. They did an absolutely fantastic job with the implementation of this as, a various co-op but also competitive game. But this is a lot of money. This is what I find interesting is that you'll have people gripe about Marvel Zombicide and the price that goes along with this and not bat an eye and get something like this. When, the two, to me, are exactly the same. Say what you will, say whichever one you want to prefer. I won't make an argument with that. That's not a big deal to me. But if you're going to complain about one and not complain about the others, I mean, hello, kettle calling pot black. That's what my big issue is. And this is the landing page right now. I got an email from them saying, oh, hey, come sign up early, get in early access or whatever. And it just linked you to this page. So it really wasn't early access. It really didn't have anything to do with that. And that's about all you're going to need to know, because there's going to be a new expansion, new characters, new treasures, corruptions, and you're going to get some advantage cardboard tokens if you signed up beforehand. So what is this page going to look like? Is this going to be like the absolute bare bones page? I have no idea. This is the first test on BackerKit, and especially with the Spirit Island announcement from this past week, which I'll cover more on Monday in detail. And are people really enticed by this as an avenue? From a publisher side of things, they must be. But I feel like nowadays, the publisher side of things, as much as people say Kickstarters, blockchain, Kickstarters, NFTs, whatever, it was all about the cash. Let's be frank here. Gamefound, it's less. BackerKit, I'm wondering if it's less. I don't think I've seen the statistics or the numbers. I don't know if they've released it to publishers ad nauseum or just the general public yet, like Gamefound and Kickstarter have, but we'll see. So that's up first. That's launching on the 26th. Also launching on the 26th, we have Bloodstones. Speaking of Gamefound, this is one I have been very, very interested in. It is a Martin Wallace game. It's a war game with asymmetric factions, and it's Euro wargaming. And I really, really want to see what this is. There are a couple preview copies floating around there. The prototypes apparently weren't in because I'm in contact with some of the people behind the scenes on the Facebook group. And so they're obviously not going to be in time for the campaign. But John Gets Game, I know, has one, and then Stella, I'm sorry about that, from the Dice Tower, I think did a playthrough. So both of those videos, I believe, are on the page now, although they said at least Stella's maybe was going to go down and then come back up. But either way, you can check it out. Dice Tower got one too. So here they run through the different asymmetric factions. You can check it out on Tabletop Simulator. This is the big contentious thing. And again, you're probably going to have people spouting over on Return to the Dark Tower, but not with this. This is $100. This is, Australian $150. It's US $100. And it's already upgraded everything. All unlocked stretch goals are already all included. So it's no, we're going to make it seem like a better value later, which is that going to be a turn on or a turn off to people? That's just going to be the question. There's not a whole lot of other information on here. You can check out the John Gets Games video to see a little bit more of what it is. but that's everything that you need to know. Do you want an asymmetric war game with area control? I really kind of do, and I was looking initially at Wildlands, but this is very appealing to me. This is one of his older designs in the design diary that it goes through, and it's wooden. It's going to be just upgraded, and you're going to see what it entails, and I'm very interested in seeing this, even at the price point of $100 from that aspect. So there you go. Also, then, in case you didn't have enough Dodos riding Dinos, this is Dodos riding Dinos Dodo Dash. This is a 1-to-6 player Dodo riding dexterity game where you're going to be playing cards, moving and flicking various objects or even your dinosaurs in order to take out your opponents, to cause them to lose cards, to cause them to lose progress, but also to advance yourself the furthest on the track until the finish line. Now, the issue is we don't really know what's going to be new in this game. This page in the description doesn't really have any information on it, but the basic premise of the game is where everyone pre-programs essentially one card, lays it face down. There are red cards and there are blue cards. Red cards are aggressive, they move you further, they're better overall, but if too many people play red cards, then they all get canceled out, and then only the blue cards are going to be moving. And then at the end of the round, the person who's head advances 1 hex, everyone else draws a card, but you have to have cards in order to actually play. So that's a very important dynamic. And rinse and repeat, including, like I said, bananas, meteorites, and everything else in between that could be happening. First one to the end is the finisher. And this is from Detestable Games, and this has a relatively very respectable rating of a 7.9 of the base game originally. And this is a standalone expansion, but it's also going to be integratable with the original in the first place. Like, this is one that I think flew under a lot of people's radars and was really well received the first time around. If you're looking for something dexterity wise with a racing element, this is, you know, well thought of. So if you're interested at all, I highly recommend you check it out. I think it raised a couple $100,000 last time, actually, on the first time around. So this is launching on the 26th as well in combination with Draco Studios. Next up, we have Pandemoniium Estate, also launching on the 26th. This is a 2 to 5 player interdimensional storytelling scenario-based game where you have 3 different big scenarios that you're going to be going through and up to 8 different asymmetric characters. This interdimensional mansion basically captures stuff, people, places, things along its way, and you have to gather those resources in order to achieve essence points, which are the victory points in order to win the game. You can see here that you're going to be traveling around this very interestingly shaped hex-based system with spots in between of different areas of the mansion, including, you know, places like the Orchard Gallery and the library. And there are a couple videos actually already over on Board Game Geek page, so you can see how to play, a 15-minute video here and a 6-minute video there as well. This one's launching on the 26th, so we'll see how it's going to go up against some of the heavier weights that are also launching that day. Also launching on the 26th, we have a game called Resonance. 3 to 8 player game of dark magic, observation, and deduction. It's a hand management style game that you're going to be interacting with based on the phases of the moon as you are one of several witches that are trying to complete the summoning circle to summon, I'm assuming, a demon from hell. That's kind of what the description gives you. You're going to be collecting different ritual objects in order to do so, in order to complete this summoning circle. I mean, the art is definitely, you know, very stylistic, and I really kind of like these circles. But apart from that, hand management being the main mechanism listed, there's not a whole lot of other information. So we'll kind of see where it falls when it launches on the 26th alongside all of these others. 3 more so far, and they're going to be completely at polar opposites. So we're going to go through all 3 of them right in a row because that's what makes the most sense, right? And Bloodstones, I think earlier that I mentioned, is actually launching on the 27th. This is Davy Jones's Locker, the Kraken Wakes, right? A 1 to 4 player cooperative pirate-based game where you are taking your ship through 2 acts or phases of the game. The first one is your traditional pirate, explore, gather resources, get booty, upgrade your ship, take your actions on the rounds in order to make the ship the best that you can. Because as you go into phase 2, you're going to be fighting the Kraken. When you fight the Kraken using your various cards and abilities here, it's a winner take all, meaning that either you or the Kraken is going to come out victorious. But if one of your ships gets knocked out, you can salvage parts in order to help your cooperative partners in order to still not be just completely out of the game and to hopefully still defeat the Kraken. This is a very interesting game. This is an organizational sort of set collection-esque game, if you will, because when we pull up what the picture actually looks like here, you can get a better sense of the 4 sections that you're going to be organizing as you gain 1 object per round, essentially, and you have to put them in one of the various sections that it may match, but you also have to organize them in a way that you can fit them in there with 24 unique goals that are going to give you varying difficulty along the way, a la sort of tile placement puzzle or more in that sense. Very interesting concept, very intrigued to see where this one falls and what the price point is, because I could see this appealing to a lot of people, and it has really gone under the radar, so we'll see what it kind of has in store for us on the 26th. Last but not least here, we're going to go over and we're going to talk about Majesty of Dragons, right? I wasn't kidding about the dichotomy of these 3. This is a dragon-based card game. I mean, dragons, right? More dragons. You are summoning, paying, potentially auctioning, bidding for said auctions to grow your army to knock out your opponent, because this is a 2-player head-to-head dueler using tarot-sized cards of 40 different dragons of 4 different types. Special abilities, combos, quests, everything along the lines of that to give you a different gameplay experience every single time that you're going to play it. So if you're looking for a relatively unique 2-player dueler, we got one on your hands here from a dragon aesthetic, you know? My kids are all about dragons right now, so I understand it. I dig it. So it's launching on the 26th. We'll see where it goes. We'll do a few quick updates here because, you know, why not? Star Realms, $300,000 already in the several days since I've started filming the previous one from yesterday. And like I mentioned in the video, the most important thing you need to know about Star Realms: Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive. Say that 6 times fast. That's what it's got going on. And these aren't just one. It says like 8 more promos here. 2 copies of each of these. So I would argue that if you're looking from a value standpoint, the infinite replay tier, no. You get the legacy tier if anything, because Wise Wizard Games has shown us in the past that they do not allow the promos to come out very easily. Now all the companies are saying lately that we are offering opportunities to get them elsewhere. No, you really are going to be hard pressed. A lot of the older promos are really hard pressed to get. So if you're a promo person, if you're a Star Realms person, you're going to have to get it. I would argue though that the price difference for this $20 for the infinite replayability kit is not worth it. No, I would argue that it's not. That's just my own personal preference when it comes to legacy, but they're going to unlock more. We're going to see more. And so just expect to get more and more exclusive. So that might be the thing that pushes you over the edge if you're considering it at all from that aspect. Moonrakers has practically doubled since I filmed the thing at the beginning of the week for this, and it shows no signs of stopping. Again, I won't make the argument that the criticism is legit of this. It's longer than most deck builders. It can drag on if the dynamic isn't right for the group, and these expansions are expensive. None of those are, things that I'm going to debate with you. However, it's a good product. It's a good game for the people that like it. The solo is absolutely wonderful, but will you pay $100 to maybe fix a base game that you weren't as big of a fan of? That's the price point that you have to consider, because this is going to cost you pretty much what Return to Dark Tower would, which, again, I see that similar arguments that should be made for Return to Dark Tower are being made against this. Say what you will, right? They're both over deluxeified or over produced in that sense, and you're going to pay for it, period. And if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. If you're not, go elsewhere. Don't rain on people's happiness, but be consistent. They're the same things. Both of these things are the same as miniatures to me. Both of these things are the same as metal coins. It's the same thing. And I'm okay with that if you're okay with it. So it's just going to be getting more and more holographic cards. I think they said 25,000 per holographic card. And we've got 5 updates already going here. And Dice Tower had a playthrough. Everything else that you need to know. They're going to have more and more stuff. So much video on this page that there should be no doubt. If you want to get it, you should be informed well enough. So Hanafuda, I thought I'd talk about this one really quickly too, because this is just a really cool concept. It's only got 3 days left as well, so this is already almost 3 times its funding goal. It's about 250%. They only have 2 updates. That's, blessing or curse, depending on how you feel that. But I believe this is a campaign that they already said we've already unlocked everything. You're getting 2 mini expansions, you're getting it earlier, and you're getting it at a slightly better price point, depending on what the shipping costs end up being. So if you want to check this out, this Hanafuda deck is probably some of the best artwork I've probably ever seen on crowdfunding. Right up there. I have no complaints or questions about that. So I'm not sure it's for me with the 100, what is it? Can't even remember the name of it. The 100 Torii diverging paths with the expansions, but I won't lie that the Hanafuda deck is going to be something I'm gonna, whoops, I'm not logged in, but that's going to be something I'm gonna go down to the wire with, just because I like the idea of a like style easy travel card game with 2 people from that sense. So anyway, thought I'd introduce it to you in case you'd forgotten about it. The other thing I wanted to throw out there is, you know, with all of my video from yesterday, we have about 3 or 4 print and plays right now that are breaking 5 digits, folks. Print and plays. Print and plays. Let me shout that for the people in the back that can't hear me. Also, Bag Chal, which I am backing Bag Chal right now. Pay what you will abstract game, but that's a whole nother thing, which is also almost at 20 grand for a pay what you will game. That's freaking fantastic, folks. I'm talking about all these now because this is what crowdfunding is for. Shoes Tactics is going to break 10,000. It's already at 8,000 in less than a week. Then you have Aquamarine, which is at 14 freaking thousand pounds. I'm backing that, by the way. And then where is Sunshine Shitty? Whoops. Sunshine City. Woohoo! That's where we're going there as well. I think it's all the way down here at the bottom. But here's Roll and Die from this past week. This is at 2 grand for Canadian dollars. What is that, like 100 US dollars? Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. But Sunshine City, I got to say that carefully now. 11,000 there as well. So that's impressive, folks. You have to be excited by things like that. When people say crowdfunding is broken, crowdfunding's a pre-order store, crowdfunding's blah, 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 you can spend 20 bucks and get 3 amazing games right there that you're going to love and have more ease to hit to the table and pay to fun ratio than most of the other things in your collection. Just putting that out there. No judgment, but just putting that thing out there. You know, how many copies of that could you buy for the price for Return to Dark Tower or Burncycle? Speaking of Burncycle, the Short Chip Theory Games campaign only got 6 days left, $280,000. So that's probably going to end up very, very similarly. I think the first campaign was low 400s or high 300s, something along those lines. But we're going to get a few stretch goals. They don't like automatically include them. You either get them or you don't. It's a better price. They've said flat out shipping is right here. It's going to be what it's going to be. Which was kind of weirdly ironic because they sent out an email for those of us that backed Unbreakable from Too Many Bones saying, urgent, you need to fill out your shipping. And then the side of things where on the campaign page where you need to actually do the shipping, it's locked and no one can get in for like the past 24, 48 hours. So they're like, hey, you need to have this filled out by like Thursday, but in a week, but you can't actually access it, so good luck. No, they're working on it, but it was kind of weird because then they're saying shipping, and it's shipping and shipping, you know. Speaking of that, I'm gonna have a video coming out about shipping later next week, hopefully if I can get that filmed as well. So that is one that's on Gamefound. And then we have 4 days left in Amun Re, and so we'll talk about it here briefly. It's at 85,000 pounds, which again is great. That's a ton of money. But it also seems a lot lower, and this is more of a complex, as you guys have told me, auction bidding, deeper mechanic style game compared to Ra. I love Ra. I'm sorry, guys. I love Ra. I'm okay with it being lighter. That's okay. And it's not terribly price different than Ra when you scroll down here, so that's not really the issue. The expanded edition is going to get you the expansions and the stretch goals. What do we hit for stretch goals right now? So promo card, inking, rulebook, god cards, promo cards. So not a ton. Not a ton, but you're going to get a deluxeified version of a game that's out of print essentially too. So are you okay with that? I mean, I would be okay with that. If you really wanted this game, I think this is a good price. I think this is a good price. Speaking of prices though, so what do you think real quick in the middle of this video for the 6 of you that are watching? Like, I don't talk about value a ton, but should I include, instead of maybe like the picks or whatever else in this video, like sort of the old style Roman Colosseum sort of situation where, you know, good value, bad value, give you 30 seconds to a minute, snap, boom, 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 value-wise on what I think of campaigns and pledge levels. Would that be of interest to you guys? Would that entice you to watch this video more? What do you think? I'm just throwing that out there in the middle of this video because this is how I brainstorm. Anyway, back to the page. On to the picks, you know, the picks of the week. So what did I do last week? I just did 3 short and sweet, and I went 2 for 3. First one up was Dice Throne. I said under 900,000, 831. It ended with, that's just still a ton of money for just like one expansion, although they threw in like a bunch of colored miniatures. So if they would have thrown Marvel in here, I guess there's some licensing issues. So like the OP, no, not the OP. How do they pronounce it? The OP games, the one that I've talked about with Disney Sorcerer's Arena behind here is apparently going to be the one putting that out at retail. So in case you were wondering from that aspect, and you don't want to pay the scalper's price of like 3 times what it actually cost on Kickstarter, because that's what people are selling it for right now, you can be aware of that. A little news thrown right in there. Company of Heroes, I said under 1.25 million, 1.21 million. Nailed that one as well, but I messed up on Sanity. Sanity ended up getting over 125k. It got 134k. So did well. So there you go. Now let's talk about where things are going to be at. Let's put Moonrakers back on the hot seat. Moonrakers, $1.7 million. I think it's just going to keep going up. I'm actually going to put the over on $1.7 million. So we'll say that. Let's say this one. Let's just go right back to the 3. Let's just go right back to the 3 we talked about. Back with Hanafuda deck and Torii Diverging Paths. Let's say $45,000. I'm going to go slightly over $45,000. I don't think it's going to get a big push, but I think it's going to get a little bit of a push. Star Realms right here. It's at 300,000. Let's say 400,000. I'm actually going to go under 400,000. I think it's going to taper off a little bit. I think it's going to, really kind of slow down now that we're out of the first week. So I'm going to say under on that one. That's it. That's the whole roundup this week. That is everything you need to know. That is all the stuff that's coming out next week, potentially, but there's always a few surprises. There's always a few great things. So, like Sunshine City. I'm not going to screw that up twice in a video. I can, but I won't. And if I do, I'll just edit it out and you won't even know it. So, anyway, what else is on the horizon? Like I said, I am taking care of all 3 kids this weekend by myself. So I have little to no downtime. The littlest one did not take a very good nap this afternoon. So I got like an hour, 15 minutes of not babysitting. I can't say babysitting. They're my own kids. I got about an hour and 15 minutes of relaxing time. And the oldest child demanded that I try Mario Party on the Switch with him during that hour and 15 minutes. So the hour and 15 minutes was spent doing that. So I had about 15 minutes then of, and again, it's Mario Party, right? Like I lost. Rolling on Mario Party. Let me tell you about bad dice rolling for a second. No. Anyway, so that's going to be out there. And then like my video from yesterday, what I'm going to do, hopefully this weekend, I'm going to start collecting crowdfunding quotes from some of these campaign pages, some of the big ones in the past. So I'm going to look and I'm going to do that video. So you can kind of like, was it actually a quote or wasn't it a quote? And then I'm going to do this for next week. You know what? Screw it. I won't even wait for you guys to put in the comment section whether or not you want to do it. I'm going to give you value on some of these games, on whether or not I think they're good value, what my recommendation is, 30 seconds to 1 minute blurbs so that you can get all of your information on this video if you don't want to hear about the games from yesterday on the longer version of what the mechanics are and why you should be interested in them from that aspect. So I'll do that and we'll see where things go from there as well. Like I said, news video on Monday. I have a couple more reviews that I need to get done. I just need to film them. I played 2 new games to me earlier in the week. I'll tell you right now, tile placement-esque, route building, management style like that, area connecting. 2 games that you need to have on your radar, and hopefully I'll have both of those reviews out this week. But I have the 3rd game that I played as well that is an amazing game, going to be a top 10 game of the year for me as well. Hopefully doing that one in the near future as well. So we'll just kind of see what else comes out. But eloquence is not my mainstay today, as you can tell. But we'll go from there. And then Sunday, if I put something out, again, whether it's the shipping video, I have a convention video I'm going to be talking about again, and a little bit of everything else in between. I had a reaction video to the Dice Tower Awards because I actually contributed to the Dice Tower Awards this year. I voted in those, and I filmed it on the old setup, and so I'm not sure if I even want to try and port it out and put it on this one, because I said what I thought was going to win versus what I voted for and why. And so I sort of did that. If you want me to put that out there, even with the old, sort of setup and stuff, let me know in the comment section down below. Otherwise I might just skip it and delete it from the old setup. So anyway, that's all I got. TV time, I'm watching I watched a Nordic Noir on Amazon Prime, the first season of, where husband is a drug dealer, marijuana drug dealer. They end up with some cocaine, him and his partners rip off some people for some cocaine, and then he gets killed, and the wife has the ramifications of dealing with it. It's actually a really good show. Only the first season is on Prime though. It's like Maman, something like that. But it was really irritating. There's 4 seasons overall, and there's just no one else to stream any of the 3 seasons, legally or illegally. So it's a good show though. I was really happy by it. I'm watching Borgen right now. Also sort of like a political drama. Nordic. I'm not sure. Is it Denmark maybe? I think it's Denmark. I think it's Danish. where basically the dynamics of the political scenes behind the scenes in those countries and how they do things differently because of like their 6 or 7 or whatever party system, and how they actually have the dynamics between the party systems of cooperating and backstabbing and first female prime minister, you know, from that aspect. It's really good. I'm only a couple episodes in. I think there's a couple episodes on, or I think there's a couple seasons on Netflix as well. So I'm just going to get into that because nothing else is really appealing to me lately. The other thing I'm streaming from one of the apps, the overseas apps, is the Korean drama The Insider. Again, I've mentioned that one previously, where you've got the judicial trainee. Basically, he's in the training to become either a prosecutor or a judge. He gets sent to jail. He gets involved in gambling in the jail, and then he's trying to get revenge because while he's in jail, his grandmother gets killed. And the gangsters are taking, you know, they're the ones that are doing that, and then they're running things in the jail, and there's this huge money laundering scheme, and it sounds a little bit soap opera-y, but it's actually really good. It's probably one of the best K-dramas. That's what they call Korean dramas. K-dramas that I've seen in the past, you know, year or two. It's really, really well done so far, so I'm relatively pleased by that. But that's all I got. We watched the Guardian Brothers tonight on Netflix with the kids because, you know, when we're doing chill at home, you know, it's going to be family movie night at least once or twice. So yeah, that's all I got. I really want to get some stuff played this weekend, but I'm just not going to have physically any time because, again, like I said, I'm going to try and film 2 or 3 videos a night, and that's about all the bandwidth I have, and the rest of it would be solo play in terms of board gaming. I have a couple games from previews. I have 1 or 2 there that I need to get played, and a couple new ones that I want to get taken to the table as well, but we'll see. I was going to buy myself something for my birthday as well. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I might put my wish list down in the comment section so you guys can see what's actually on my wish list right now. I've been really looking at, again, I'm not a big fan of Villainous from Disney, but Star Wars Villainous is getting released at the end of the month, as well as there's a Boruto game from Blacklist Games. I know, Blacklist Games, that's a whole nother video as well, but it's available at Barnes & Noble, and it's Boruto, and the mechanisms are actually, you know, seemingly relatively solid. It's probably the best Naruto game out there when it's a low bar. Guild of Merchant Explorers from AEG. I've had that on my radar for the longest time, but it's sold out at the majority of places, and the shops that do have it are, you know, selling it for about like $10 more than what it should be being sold at other places that don't have it in stock. So I'm not really enticed about paying that and then shipping on top of it. I mean, there's a couple crowdfunding games that I'm looking at. There are a bunch of new recent announcements like the Spirit Island expansion and the streamlined Spirit Island, in case you missed that, as well as the Dune Imperium expansion. I still need the first ones, and the second one was just announced. So again, those are going to be topics for the video on Monday of the news video, but those are all on my wish list. You know, let me know what you think. What should I get? The oldest one wanted to buy me a Switch game really badly and was going to my wife about buying me a Switch game. And, you know, a Switch game that he could play. But it just ended up sort of falling through. The only thing I have on my radar is I was looking at Metroid Dread, but I just don't feel like Metroid Dread now. And the only other thing was Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is getting released next week as well, in about a week from this video. So that was the thing that was really on the top of my radar. That or like a board game, an extra board game, right? Because I don't have enough to go around in the first place. So I'm going to sell a bunch of stuff, I think. I need to sell a bunch of stuff. Anyway, that's all I got. I am completely rambling here at the end. I'm going to go out and see if my 1-year-old, almost 2-year-old, is still crying after I put him to bed about half an hour ago. And then we'll see where things go from here. Give me an amen if you know what I'm talking about at bedtime. Okay, thanks. Stay classy. See you around. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Or day. Whatever time it is you're watching this. Thank you.